I don't even have to clear my throat at this point. I just do it because I've been doing it for so long. I figured it's just the thing to do. What's going on, everybody? Madden, you're here early. Mr. Money Mike Madness, the kid himself. How you doing, Mike? Vol Solo, how are you, my friend? Curran, how are you? What's up, Douglas? Patriots, Queen K. It is, yeah. He's only ever played it for the Yankees. Music is a vibe. I love this soundtrack. I use it all the time. Mr. Mad is in the house. How you doing? Turn to the D-backs? Yeah, I saw that. What's up, Braden? Music a little loud? Yeah, I'm about to turn it off in a second. Chat. This mustache. I figured out very quickly I'm not a mustache person. But we got to hit our goal. Honestly, we're already almost halfway there. Considering I'm going to donate 250 after you guys donate 250. So once we get to 250, right, like you do half, I do half. Rafael Devers. What's up, Jackson? Turns going to the D-backs. They're the favorites right now. What was I talking about? I was just talking about something. I totally lost my train of thought. I don't know. Either way, feels good to be back. This is the first live stream of the off season where we actually have rumors to talk about, which is kind of cool. This is the first one, 2023 at least, that we have actual rumors to talk about. I can't remember if we did live streams between 22 and 23. What up, Clip? Hey, keep an eye out, man. We had a lot of last time. I don't know if. I'm sorry to hear that, Doug. But hopefully you can get a little bit of fun in before you gotta head to bed. Yeah, Rafael Devers won a Silver Slugger. The kid himself. It's crazy that he had a bad year. What's up, Dylan? It's crazy that like we're sitting here, and we're like, oh, that wasn't Rafi. That wasn't Rafi. That was, what was Rafi could have been. You know what I mean? Like the whole year we were like, we need more from Rafi. Still the best hitting third baseman in baseball. At least the American League. So if that's any indication as to what he's going to look like over the next 10 years, I'm very excited about it. Would I like Rod back here in Boston? Rod? Am I missing something? Why do I not know who Rod is? Rod back here in Boston. Oh, Erod? Maybe. He had a good year last year. I don't love the fact that he just took off the year before. Music needs to be a bit quieter. There's not even any music playing right now, my friend. Probably meaning Erod, yeah. Wait, how behind are you guys right now? How behind? All right, I'm going to say test, and you guys type test in the chat when you hear it. Ready? Test. All right, so I'm not too far behind. Versatility. Versatility, that's how I opened stream today. I said, man, I do not look good. I realized very quickly I do not look good with a mustache, but it's for a good cause, right? If you guys do want to donate and want to know how to donate, reach our goal of $500 to Movember, helping provide mental health and health services to men, both nationally and worldwide, right? Because it's I feel like there's a huge stigma still around, specifically men going to therapy and stuff like that when everyone should, right? Oh, Mr. Mad already, $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Mad. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. Shohei said if we get Corbin 8K subs by next Friday, he'll sign with the Red Sox. True story. You heard him here, folks. You heard him here. I don't know why stream alerts aren't going off. It's been delayed lately, Mr. Mad. So you'll get it. You'll get it in a second. This is the goal right here. This is where we're at. It's on the screen right now. We're at 105 out of $500. So in 3 days, That's really good. You guys have been incredible so far. You're unsubbing till the goal's reached. That's doing your part. I appreciate it. We get some claps in the chat for Mr. Mad, please. For his $10 super chat. I really appreciate it. There it is. I knew it'd pop up eventually. I just didn't know when. Unfortunately, I don't know my blood type, Douglas. I'm sorry. What do we got going on for the Red Sox right now? I feel like there's a couple of different things we could talk about. The Jordan Montgomery at least being interested, right? And you know, I think we're all kind of aware. I think we're all kind of aware that interest means absolutely nothing, especially after the last couple of off seasons, right? But what I want to take out of the Jordan Montgomery stuff specifically is you'll throw a 10 to shave that here. Let me put the let me put the link in there. So if you guys do want to donate, that is a link to donate to Movember, again, bringing health services to men both nationally and worldwide, which is really cool. Money Mike Madness, a $15 super chat. He said, "I'm not going to be outdone here. I hope Breslow's first move is a good one." I really hope everyone hopes Breslow's first move is a good one. Thank you so much, Mr. Money Mike Madness. Can we get some claps in the chat for Mike? Can we get some claps in the chat? One of the most outspoken people in this chat. So I really appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much, my friend. Can we get some claps for him? Do you think that Boston's going to sign a big bat this year? I don't know about big bat. I think they will sign a bat or trade for a bat, but I don't think it'll be a big bat. Like, I don't think we're going to be like, holy crap, the Red Sox got blank, right? I don't know if that's a situation we're going to see, but I do think we'll see some bats added. Craig Breslow at the GM meetings before they were canceled because everyone got diarrhea. I don't know if you saw that, but all the execs got diarrhea, so they had to cancel it. But either way, one of the things he was saying when he was there was that they're looking to add a right-handed bat. That's at least what he said, kind of straight up. He kind of threw out a couple of different scenarios, either a full-time DH, part-time DH, versatility, stuff like that. He used a lot of big words, but the overall theme was that he is looking for a... All right, let's get Doug a kidney. Yeah, so that's sort of what I expect. I don't expect Juan Soto, for those of you who are... Someone asked, so no Soto. It doesn't look like they're going to... It doesn't look like the Padres are planning on trading Soto from everything that's come out so far. It doesn't mean things can't change, but that's what it looks like right now. Hello, Steven. Fan since the 90s. Welcome in, my friend. Welcome in. Give me Hoskins or Garver. That's kind of along the lines that I'm looking at. Jorge Soler is another one, maybe. That's one that I'm looking at. What's up, Wes? Make it look like an old-timey villain. I'm hoping that we get enough donations in enough time where we don't have to see how far this will grow. What's up, Fester? Matt, don't even start that today. Let's see. Will this Red Sox sign Yamamoto or Ohtani? I would say it's more realistic they sign Yamamoto before Ohtani. What's up, Edgar? I think Ohtani... I think they're going to be in play for Ohtani. I don't think they end up with Ohtani. How about someone like Christian Yelich? The only way I see Christian Yelich working is if the Red Sox give up Duran and either Verdugo or Abreu in that trade. We have so many left-handed outfielders, right? If anything, I think they're going to trade for someone right-handed. I don't think it'll be a left-handed outfielder. I love Christian Yelich. Huge Christian Yelich fan. But I don't know if that is someone that they're going to look for. Call me Mr. President. I will do that, Steven. How about Cody Belly? I don't think the Red Sox will bid high enough on Bellinger. I think the Yankees will go big time and get Bellinger, which sucks because I love Cody Bellinger too. But I think we see a big payday for Belly from the New York Yankees. He makes too much sense on the Yankees, which sucks. Do you see Eduardo Rodriguez coming back to the Red Sox? I personally don't. Eduardo Rodriguez had a good season this year. He could be a solid 2. I think that's sort of his ceiling, right? I think there are other ways the Red Sox could go that I think make more sense for the direction the team's going in. So I don't think we're going to see a Eduardo Rodriguez reunion. In fact, there was an article by Jen McCaffrey where she had spoken to some executives within the Red Sox, and they felt as though the Red Sox weren't going to go too deep into Eduardo Rodriguez or Marcus Stroman, which is interesting. Thoughts on picking up Merrifield? I don't hate the idea of picking up Whit Merrifield. I do have an interesting, here's what I'm thinking about with Whit, right? Because you've got Meyer who's coming up quickly. You've got York, who, if he's not traded, is sort of banging on the door a little bit, right? And you've got Trevor Story, so that's already sort of 3. And you don't want to overcrowd that position and sort of end up in a similar position to what you're in this year, where you've got a ton of young talent in the outfield. You got a ton of young talent in the outfield. You got a ton of young talent, and you know what I mean, where you're sort of stuck, right? So with Whit, it would be interesting to me to see what the length of the contract is, right? Do they want to do a full length, does he want 3 or 4 years, or will he settle for a 1-year contract with a club option in the second year, right? Is that something he'd be looking for? If that is something he's looking for, then yeah, I'm interested, right? Because Whit Merrifield brings that sort of good defense up the middle. He's going to give you league average production at the plate. It's not a superstar signing. It's not going to transform your lineup like some other people you could put in at second base, but it'd be interesting to see sort of what he could do at second base for the Red Sox for 1 year, and then you bring up Meyer or something like that. Think we'll get Montgomery? I think we'll be heavily in on Montgomery. Yes. Should the Red Sox possibly trade for Mike Trout? I would say no. Except for ace pitching, what does Boston need to become a contender? Outside of starting pitching, there really isn't a ton the Red Sox need. When you look at the bullpen, I would say maybe a late inning left-handed arm. When you look at the diamond itself, you're pretty good offensively. I would say a second baseman would be really what you need, and you need to figure out who's going to be your starting outfielders. So not so much free agent needs, but just needs in order to narrow this team down. Mike being a member for 9 months. Thank you for being here, Mike. We have had a baby together. If you were... Yeah, you got the reference. Either way, that was a weird reference. My apologies. Will the Red Sox pick up a second baseman or pay Urias? I think they pick up a second baseman. I don't know if it's in free agency, though. I don't know if it's in free agency. Thank you for being here for 9 months, Mike. I truly appreciate you. I made predictions and said Andrew Chafin to the bullpen. Yeah, see, that's a decent pickup, I think. A sort of under-the-radar guy, not going to move the needle. Not going to move the needle, but could be really good for the Red Sox in the bullpen, right? Do you see the Brewers said that they're looking to that they would be looking to move any players? Would love Burns, but I haven't seen anything about them wanting to trade anything. What's up, Dave? But at the same time, too, based on the fact that the manager left, based on sort of where they ended up in the 2023 season, I could see them starting to move some players for sure. How often do we do these live chats? Once every other week. What's up, Dave? Am I nervous about any big Yankee trades? I'm not. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think there's going to be anyone. Yeah, versatility. It's too early to tell where these guys are going, but the Yankees will be heavily in on Bellinger. It just makes so much sense. What's up, QB? How was practice? Now that Bryce Harper's a full-time first baseman, do you think the Sox will go after Hoskins as a DH? I think they'll be in on Hoskins, yeah. And I think Hoskins makes some sense. The thing that sort of stood out to me about what Craig Breslow said is sort of along the lines of sort of along the lines of what Cora thinks about the DH spot, and that's that he wants it to be versatile, right? He wants to be able to get guys off their feet and still make an impact in the lineup. With Rhys, right, you really only got one option, and that's to either platoon him with Casas and have him switch off at DH or have him be a straight DH. Now, if the way they want to go is to do a straight DH, then fine. Or if they want to have Casas half DH, half first base, I don't love that, but fine, right? Hoskins could be an option, but I don't know if he's going to be the, sort of perfect fit. And I think they will wait a little bit for their perfect fit DH type player because I think there are decent enough options where they have a couple of times here. Steve, it's just Mr. President. It's sort of just, to me, it's just people need a story, right? Do you think the Red Sox will do, I'm so far behind. Hold on. Do you think the Red Sox will do better this offseason? Yes. Boston go after Tim Anderson? I don't think that's too bad, Chance, and I think they will put a lot of money into starters, but I think they could also trade for a second baseman. That could work out really well, too. Can we just sign all the NPB players and call it a day? Could work out. What's up, Eric? Reyes is better than Urias. I'll give you that. Tim Anderson, if they want to take a flyer on a one-year deal on Tim Anderson, I wouldn't be super upset. Don't see them dumping Burnes until the deadline. It depends, right? If you look at Burnes' history, right, just going into 2023, he had all those issues with arbitration, with the way the Brewers finished the season and them losing a manager and sort of the losing David Stearns and all these things. It feels as though they're about to go into a bit of not a big rebuild, but a bit of a rebuild. So I think Burnes could be on the table if you're willing to give them close to Major League ready people. You think Verdugo really goes to the Yankees? That's what we're talking about in tomorrow's video. What's the deal with Torres? That's what we're talking about in tomorrow's video. Because I've seen it proposed. I've seen the straight Verdugo for Torres trade proposed. It makes sense for both sides. I know it sucks. I hate saying that. But it makes sense for both sides. Clip, my moderator, has been here for 9 months as well. Thank you so much for being here, Clip. I appreciate you. Burnes plus Yamamoto equals World Series. Agreed. They need a better catcher. I don't think so. I don't think they need a better catcher. Especially with Kyle Teal making his way through as fast as he is. I think Rhys and Connor Wong will suffice. Everyone doesn't need to be a superstar in the Red Sox to be successful. I think Wong is decent enough defensively. I think Rhys is fine defensively as a backup catcher, right? I think you're just sort of biding your time. What's up, Prodigy? If the Red Sox trade Verdugo, then what should they try and get? Either a second baseman or package him for a bigger pitcher. And I think the more realistic option is a second baseman. Yeah, Chance, I know you don't like Doogie, but he has value, right? He has value. That's awesome. That's awesome, Mr. President. That is awesome. Yankee Lanes? I don't think I've ever been to Yankee Lanes. I used to bowl at it's in Concord, New Hampshire. There's a 10-pin bowling there. Did you see Cashman's thing with the media? It was absolutely hilarious. It was perfect. I think would Merrifield be a good option at second base? It could. Torres is worth 3 times Verdugo. I don't know about 3 times. I in the video I did yesterday, I did just a straight proposal of Verdugo and Torres, and it's close value-wise, right? I understand people don't love Alex Verdugo, and I understand he quit at the end of the year. But if you really break it down here, the Yankees are looking for, what Cashman at least said was they're looking for 2 outfielders. They're looking for high contact guys, and they're looking for lefties, right? Alex Verdugo, I know some of you guys don't like him, gives you that, right? He gave up at the end of the year. I get that. He had his issues off the field, but he still has value to other teams. So, yeah, I don't know. Who's most likely to be traded on the Red Sox? I would say, in this order, I would say Verdugo, Tanner Houck, Jarren Duran, Ceddanne Rafaela. That's sort of where I'm at right now. I think that's kind of where I'd be. Teal coming up September 2024. I can believe it. I wouldn't be shocked. We need Juan to be serviceable till Teal gets here and then he's back. Yeah, exactly unknown. That's all we need, right? He doesn't need to be anything crazy. I doubt we see them go after big name position players. They desperately need pitching. They have many prospects. Yeah, but I think you still need to fill holes, right? You still got holes you need to fill. You still got stuff you need to do. I don't know about big name, but yeah. I'm concerned the Yankees will trade for Soto. It doesn't look like Soto's going to be on the market. From what I've been hearing, it doesn't look like Soto's going to be on the market. Do you see us getting a defensive outfielder? No, I don't think we'll bring in an outfielder. The only outfielder I could see them bringing in is Adam Duvall. I just think there's too many options in the outfield right now. I think where you upgrade, where you get your right-handed power from will either be DH or second base. No, Torres has been terrible defensively. I agree with that, Kay. Yeah, he doesn't exactly fit. Do the Yankees have so much payroll? Do they go crazy? I think they'll make a big move. I think they're gonna have to. I think Cashman is a little bit angry. I think he's gonna spend a little bit of money. But we'll see. I don't think they go crazy. No. I think Verdugo is a talented player and can still be a good piece for the future Red Sox because he's good. Yeah, I mean he has value, right? He has value for sure. What are the odds of Turner coming back? I'd say like 15%. What's up, Craig? If the Red Sox would trade for Jonathan India, what would we have to send back to the Reds? That's a good question. They need starting pitching. So it could possibly be something like Tanner Houck and Manuel Valdez. I could see getting it done. Soler could be an interesting option. Again, it depends. The Red Sox are sort of in the middle right now, right? They, Breslow spoke about it. He was talking about versatility in the DH spot, but he also mentioned the fact that they've been successful in the past when he was here with a full-time DH, and they won 3-4 all 4 World Series with a full-time DH. So he's open to both possibilities. With Soler, right? It's sort of just a DH spot. And maybe you can sort of mix and match him a little bit with Massa in left field. That could be something you could do too. I don't know. Christian, that's not going to happen. They're not. That'd be such a bad look if they signed Xander to that contract and then traded him. Who do you think will be the new Red Sox players in 2024? I'm hoping it's Yamamoto, Burns, India. Could you see us re-signing Turner, Duvall? I would say Duvall more than Turner. Although Duvall sounds like he wants to get the hell out of here in his post-game presser. Or his postseason presser. Abreu should be a sell-high candidate. Verdugo should be gone. Abreu, I don't think you're in as much of a hurry to trade Abreu. Verdugo, again, I talked about it. You don't have to trade Verdugo, right? The idea is you are going to trade Verdugo, and if you're not going to extend him, but we get so hyper focused on if you don't sign him, you lose something, right? If you trade him away or if you just let him walk, you're losing, right? But at the same time, too, if you get a good solid year out of Verdugo on a contract year and you say, thank you for your service, we're putting, say, Don Rafael out there full time or Jarren Duran out there full time going into 2025, it's not entirely the end of the world. Like, you're not gonna lose too much if you let Verdugo walk after a walk here, right? He's not Xander. He's not Mookie. He wouldn't be Devers, right? He's not that caliber of player. He's a solid player that could be a help to the Red Sox, but he's not the type of guy that you're going to sit there and be like, how could you not trade him and get nothing for him? You know what I mean? So neither of those guys are really like, you have to trade him. In my opinion, when you're looking at the outfield, though, Verdugo's the most expendable. Yeah, Jackson, you probably could. Verdugo is never as good as Benny? That's not true. Do you think they could find a new left fielder in Amasa DH? They definitely could. They need a right-handed outfielder that can play the field. Yeah, kind of. What you really need is just you need solid defense in the outfield, and I think you keep Moss out there. It's not going to be great, but you want the bat, right? Jarren Duran played a solid center field this season. And then Wilyer Abreu, Ceddanne Rafaela, Rob Refsnyder, Alex Verdugo, those are all guys who can play really solid right field. So you don't really need the defense too much. What you do need is a right-handed outfielder. Or right-handed period, right? And whether that comes in DH or second base or both, that's where you need to get that right-handed power from, in my opinion, right? If it does come in the form of a right-handed outfielder, great, right? Then you got one less thing to worry about. But in my opinion, again, you got so many options in the outfield. It wouldn't make sense to me to add on to that unless your plan is to trade away 2 or 3 of those guys in the offseason to make room for some of these players. So I would say it's more so going to be coming from second base, DH position than it is the outfield. No, Prodigy, not yet. Unless Doogie brings back India or Burns, then I don't want to trade him. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to... I mean, it could, right? Do the Reds want to spend $15 million on Doogie's arbitration? Do the Brewers want to spend that money? You know what I mean? I don't know if they do. So I don't know if he gets it back. Red Sox, Brewers trade. Red Sox receive Corbin Burns, Nick York, Tanner Houck. I don't know if that gets it done. I mean, we could play around with the trade simulator again. We were doing that last stream here. They updated it, so now it looks all different. It's freaking me out. Throwing me off my game, chat. So here's what Tanner Houck for essentially Tanner Houck and Nick York for Corbin Burns would look like. Excuse me. I don't think it's gonna be super good. Let me see. So there's Corbin Burns to the Red Sox. Now for Houck and York, I think you're gonna need more. So Tanner Houck's, according to this, about $20 million, and then York is about 17. So yeah, I mean that might get it done. I mean, yeah, okay. So according to this, you're actually overpaying for Burns. Let's see. It's a minor overpay, right? Yeah. And again, if this works, great, right? But this is so finicky. Like, trades are so finicky because it depends on what the other person. It depends on what the other team values their player at, right? That's sort of where I'm at. What would it take to trade away Chris Sale's contract? If someone takes the whole thing, I think they do it. If not, I think they hold on to it. He's an option after this year, so it's really just 1 year, $24 million. Well, the Red Sox, yeah, Costas is under control, so he'll be here next year. I said Blaze, Mata, and Doogie for Burns, and I believe it would work. I'm sure that would, yeah. Yeah, purely, yes, right. You would prefer that they just spend the money, but it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be a really competitive starting pitching market because it really is. It's Yamamoto, Aaron Nola, Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery, which is really kind of, and Marcus Stroman. And then outside of that, right, it drops from, okay, these guys can be ones and twos to these guys can be, fours on a great team, threes on a good team, twos on a bad team. You're starting to get into the Lorenzens, the Lugos, the guys like that. So those top 5 guys are going to be really sought after, which is going to make this entire offseason extremely competitive because there are a lot of teams, right? The Cardinals are looking for pitching. The Dodgers are looking for pitching. The Red Sox are looking for pitching. The Mets are looking for pitching, right? There are a lot of people going to be all in on these guys. So maybe the route is, you sign a Montgomery or you sign a Yamamoto, one of those guys, and then you go after trade market. You go after Cease, Keller, Singer, Lodolo, Burns, guys like that, right? So that's sort of where my head is at when you're looking at the free agent market. I'm not expecting them to go out there and then pick up Yamamoto, Nola, and Montgomery. That's probably not going to happen. What is probably going to happen is you get either Nola or Yamamoto and then you trade to get other people, which makes a lot more sense. What if you removed York and replaced him with someone like Verdugo? That's not going to happen. They're not. I don't think they take Verdugo. I really don't. They have enough outfield help. Honestly, they need to trade for their many. Yeah, I agree. Versatility. You don't want to let those guys go for free, but at the same time, too, it's really Wilkerman Gonzalez, Shane Drohan, and there's like one more person whose name is escaping me right now, who I think you need to protect. And then outside of that, right, a lot of those guys you could take a chance on. You could take a chance on a lot of those guys. What are the odds we get one of the top 5 free agent pitchers? I would say high. I would say pretty high. When do free agents begin to sign with free agency already underway? It depends. It feels like it's always later and later every year. I would guess you're probably going to start to see the first smaller signings coming around Thanksgiving, and then after Thanksgiving, you start to get into the big name guys, the top 5 pitchers, the Ohtani, stuff like that. What's up, Dennis? Grab a pitching free agent. That's the hope. If we do get Jordan Montgomery, will he be no, he can't be the number 1, right? He can't be the number 1 on this team. Would not be good. Would love Josh Hader. He's going to cost a lot of money. I mean, he's a great pitcher, right? He's a great pitcher, but you got Kenley back there. I'd like to see someone maybe a bit younger start to take out. Have a good night, Douglas. Someone who's, start to take over that before you get into just bringing in Josh Hader, I think they'll bring back Pivetta, yeah. I mean, he's under contract. He's under arbitration for 1 more year, so you don't have to get rid of him. He played a big role last year. I think they're going to use him in sort of a similar role next year. So, yeah, I think they hold on to Pivetta. JD Martinez return. It would be interesting to see JD Martinez come back to the Red Sox. I don't think he ends up coming back to the Red Sox, but right, if the fit's there, the fit's there. And they do need a DH. Again, it all depends on whether the Red Sox want to go versatile at the DH role or whether they want a true DH every day. Because JD Martinez flat out can't play the field anymore, right? You cannot play JD Martinez on the field anymore. So he's just a straight DH. Do they want that, or do they want someone who can play a little bit of the field too? David Ross is the pitching coach? That would make no sense. He's never pitched in his life. Every team's off season. If I was a major league channel, I might do that, Madden, but that would be too much work for just a Red Sox channel. Let me see here. Can you go over your preferred free agent and trades in order to make this team highly competitive next year? All right, Versatility. Thanks for stopping by. If you guys do want to help donate and get rid of this caterpillar on my lip, and we are collecting money for Movember, which is bringing health services, both mental and physical health services, to men both nationwide and worldwide as well. And so with November being National Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I thought it'd be a good idea for this channel to, come together and help out people in need. And so we're trying to get to $500. I'm growing out this mustache until, and if you do donate, you'll be entered to win any dollar amount, by the way. You'll be entered to win some Red Sea Radio merch as well. What are the chances Ceddanne Rafaela wins Rookie of the Year? Probably pretty low. Do you expect many signings till MLB winter meetings? Not a ton. No. Who would be their number one starter if they got Ohtani and Yamamoto? Probably Ohtani. But why not Ceddanne at second base? Ceddanne's never really played second. I'm sure he'd be fine at second base, right? But he's never really played second base. He's an unknown, right? He's an unknown. And we've had a lot of unknowns these past couple of years. Some of them worked out really well. Casas, Duran, Turner, Duvall, Chris Martin, Massa, right? Those have turned out really well. Some of them haven't, right? Corey Kluber, James Paxton didn't work out all that well. Joely Rodriguez didn't work out all that well. That combo at first base where it was Bobby and Franchi didn't work out very well, right? I think they want someone who's a known quantity, and Ceddanne Rafaela is not going to be a known quantity at second base. So I think they will look outside of that. What's up, Brad? Hello from New Hampshire. I hail from New Hampshire. I was born in New Hampshire. 603 or die. Mr. Money Mike with the $15 donation to help Movember. Thank you so much, Mike. Let me update that so it shows. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that. We're getting there, chat. We're getting there. I'm matching up to $250. So realistically, all you guys have to do is get to $250 and boom, we're there, right? So we really only need $130 more, and this mustache is gone, and you guys can start to get some Red Seat merch. I'm just saying. Can we get some claps to the chat for Mr. Money Mike Madness? Finally caught a live stream. Glad you're here. Do you think Pablo Reyes could carry success into this season, become a quiet franchise player? Absolutely not. I don't think he'll ever be a franchise player. Will he be a solid bench bat? Yes, 100%. J Pro 6. Everyone say hello to my dad. $10 for Movember. Thank you so much, Dad. 8 months. It's his birthday tomorrow. Everyone say happy birthday. Everyone say happy birthday to my dad. Try to get together this weekend. I agree, Michael. That'd be awesome. Trade for Burns. Pick up another pitcher like Montgomery. Trade Verdugo. So we can get off of... No, you don't need to trade Trevor Story. I say keep Trevor Story. What gonna make people mad is if they trade the farm away when they... Yeah. That would suck. And I don't think they will. Story can't hit a beach ball. He's had a lot of issues since coming here. And I think a lot of it's off field as well. 2022, he was above league average. And he plays really great defense. So even if we get a full season where he is a 108 OPS plus, I think was what it was in 22, and he's playing Gold Glove caliber shortstop, that's worth the money. Greetings from South Carolina. Hey, Bill. Do I think Costas will win Rookie of the Year? Unfortunately not. But I appreciate you watching. I think it'll go to not Jackson Holiday. I'm blanking on his name from Baltimore, shortstop Gunnar Henderson. What will the first Red Sox move be? It'll be to bring in a pitching coach, which is the boring answer. The more fun answer will be. I appreciate that, Mike. Thank you. I think in terms of bringing in somebody, I think they'll sign a pitcher. I think that'll be the first big move. What would you say the most realistic offseason would be? Name players. It's tough because I don't know what the markets for these guys are going to look like, and if the Red Sox want to, pull when they paid price, right? I'm going to say they get Yamamoto, and then trade for. And then trade for they trade for Burns. That's too big. It's tough. It's really hard to figure out what the Red Sox are going to do. I'm going to say they get Yamamoto. I'm going to say they get Jonathan India somehow in a trade. And then I'm going to say they get and then I think they bring in. It's just, man, this is so tough. And then they bring back Duvall to DH platoon with Massa. And they trade for Burns. I think there'll be some big moves this offseason is what I'm trying to say. I agree. Nazan Zanatello is going to be crazy. He's going to be good this year. If Xander ever requested a trade, do you think Breslow would be aggressive for a shortstop like him? I don't. What's up, Dan? Daniel? What's up, Daniel? Random question. What are your thoughts on Julio Lugo and Hideki Okajima? Julio Lugo is not talked about enough. Wink. He is not talked about enough. And Hideki, I think a lot of people... okay. Yeah. I like both of them. Trevor Story trade would maybe help sign Nola or trade for Burns. I don't think ownership still wants to go over the tax. No, they're going over the tax. They don't need to do that. I think the Red Sox are going to be all in this year. There's no reason not to be huge upside. Yeah, I agree. I simply don't want Trevor Bauer. We Red Sox don't need Trevor Bauer. It's not worth getting Trevor Bauer. What do I think about Verdugo for Torres? It does seem like a great trade, and I think it is a great trade. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen for a couple of different reasons. I think both teams can get what they want without having to deal with the rival interdivisional trade 1-for-1. I think a lot of people on both sides don't want to take the chance on a 1-on-1 trade like that. I just don't see it happening. But I'm putting out a full video tomorrow, Brian, about it too. Cody Bellinger chances next to 0. What Red Sox top prospect do you think are untouchable in trades? Not many. I would say Teal. That's kind of it. Not going all in. They are still running the Bloom course. They just want a guy to be a little bit more aggressive. Bloom didn't have the balls to make that trade. No, they'll go over the tax, Jeffrey. I will bet you a lot of money. Preach, Clip. Yeah, you don't need Trevor Bauer to win games. You don't. Am I making that statement on Bauer's stats, or his ordeal? I'm making it on him in general, right? He hasn't pitched in Major League Baseball in 2 years. And I get he was good over in Japan. Outside of that, right? Outside of that, there are so many and we don't even have to talk about the court stuff. We don't have to talk about the court stuff. In fact, there's actually a list of things here. Because I knew this would come up. There's a list of things here. Ready? Let's talk about what Trevor Bauer would bring to the Boston Red Sox. If we're just talking about stats, hasn't played baseball in 2 years. He had to apologize to multiple teammates for being too much of a dick to work with. Then he was traded for some reason. After he was traded, recorded a rap song dissing his past teammates, threw a tantrum on the mound after being pulled from a game, messed up his hand fixing a homemade drone right before the World Series. He has harassed people online, was so brazen about Spider Tack, he pissed off every other sticky merchant in the league by getting it banned. Right? I don't care. Well, of course I do care. I care a lot that he is a terrible person to women. That was not his first allegation. It won't probably be his last allegation, right? I care about the fact that you are bringing in someone who not only hasn't played baseball in major leagues in 2 years, but he's also a clubhouse cancer. What would be the point of bringing him in? What would be the point of bringing him in? Oh, he had a decent season in Japan? Great. You know who else had a decent season? Four guys who have successfully played in Major League Baseball. Another guy from Japan who has successfully played Japanese baseball for 7 years, and he's 25 friggin' years old. Right? Where's the positives? There is the only positive is that you could get him for cheap. And if you're a Red Sox fan who's been complaining and moaning and yelling about this ownership not spending money, for you to go and say, oh, then let's get Bauer, he's cheap, is entirely contradictory to everything you've been preaching for the last 4 years. There's quite literally no reason to pick him up. CW, yes, that one person was, but he still has multiple still going, right? That one case, yes, but he still has multiple going. So, and then even if you want to take that out of equation, he's a crappy person, a crappy teammate, and he hasn't played Major League Baseball in 2 years. If he's the third pitcher we get, that's good. Okay, then why don't we go and get someone who's played Major League Baseball and isn't a cancer to the clubhouse? I truly, Fester, I don't care. I don't care at all. Clubhouse stuff is old, though. That was the last time he was in Major League Baseball. Bill, that is the stupidest thing you could say after I just went on that rant. You hate him for his life choices? No. For the love of Christ. I hate him because he's a cancer in the clubhouse. He's a terrible teammate, and he hasn't played baseball in 2 years. And yeah, he's a crappy person, and I like rooting for the Red Sox. I shouldn't have to root for someone who is morally against everything that I believe in, right? I don't care what Mookie said. I don't care what Mookie said. What's up, Ethan? Appreciate it. Yeah, we always get a little heated here, huh? Like, it just, none of it, it's too much outside stuff. And even if you want to say it's old, even if you want to say he's changed, I believe in second chances, but there's just so much There's just so much outside of it that there's no reason, right? And I didn't root for him, CW. I was so glad he got toasted, and people yelled at me for that too. If Ohtani leaves, LA is Mike Trout requesting out or following him? I don't think so. Sorry about that, Mike. Yeah, you came at the wrong time. You would buy a Monty jersey if he signed here. He's a man amongst boys. I would be all in on Jordan Montgomery coming here, especially if it's like a 5-6 year deal. I'd be very happy. Again, I don't think that's the main person you go and get, but if that's something that the Red Sox do is sort of a complimentary, maybe they get that out of the way so they can focus on bigger pitches, then I'm all in. I think that would be a great pickup for the Red Sox. He's a sturdy, solid arm. Chances the Red Sox sign Ohtani, really low. Yeah, people like to argue. I don't hate arguing. If you can tell, I don't hate arguing. What have we covered so far? How to take a phone call? Well, we've strictly been talking about why I would never pick up. Yeah, I would run too. Why I think we should never pick up Trevor Bauer. That's what we were talking about. Joe Kelly's available. Could be an interesting piece for the bullpen. I don't know if Joe Kelly makes a ton of sense, right? Because when you look at the bullpen, if you do what you need to do in the rotation, hey, thank you, retired captain. I appreciate you for subscribing to the channel. I don't know if you're in here or just watching one of our videos, but I appreciate you nonetheless. What's up, Peter? Welcome in. I think when you look at the bullpen, right, you've got Whitlock, most likely Houck, Winkowski, Martin, Jansen, Schreiber, maybe. I think you're good on right-handed bullpen arms. Just want Joe Kelly for the culture? True. Yamamoto, Montgomery, then focus on second base, maybe a lefty reliever and a stud bat. That's a lot. I mean, that's a long list. You can kind of conserve two of those, right? You could do a good right-handed bat, at second base. Agreed, Matt. I mean both. CW. I'm not going to get into what was the worst, right? They both did really crappy things, and both should be untouchable. That's ridiculous. We don't need to go down that road. Do I like Breslow? Yeah, I like Breslow. But we haven't seen anything from him yet, right? We haven't seen anything from him yet. So I'm holding out judgment, but I like him right now. Do they have any lefties in the pen? You've got Walter and Murphy. You got Brendan Bernardino. I'd still like him to get a left-handed reliever. Definitely. That guy, Yuki Matsui, coming in from Japan, could be a perfect option, especially because he's going to kind of go under the radar. So, yeah, I think they could use a lefty for sure. Yeah, true. Analytics in baseball. I think, honestly, with analytics, I think it's a little bit misunderstood. Because what I think 90-ish% of analytics is what has been going on in the game for years, right? A lot of the stuff we're seeing today in terms of analytics is, okay, this guy's better against righties, this guy's better against lefties, this guy pulls the ball more towards this side, this guy, shoots the ball the other way more on a 3-2 count. Jameson Taillon's going to throw you a cutter 85% of the time, right? That's 90% of what analytics are. And so I think when people say, I think when people say analytics are bad for the game, it's more so analytics are misunderstood. Now, obviously, there are ways that you can overutilize analytics. I think we saw that with the Blue Jays in the postseason this season. And at the end of the day, these guys are playing a game, and there's a man behind the glove, and you got to trust the man at sometimes. But I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of things that you can do to really improve your game using analytics. And not everything, again, analytics is a big umbrella, right? Analytics includes, what David Ortiz was doing in the 2013 World Series. Oh, I watched tape on this guy. I talked to some people. I was expecting a splitter in on a whatever count that was when he hit that grand slam, right? That's what he talks about. And that's analytics, right? So yeah, I think it's become a bigger part of baseball. I also think it's become sort of one of the biggest misunderstood parts of our game. Does that make sense? When will deals go down? I would say after Turkey Day, we're going to start to see a little bit more. And then winter meetings is when we'll probably start to see some of the bigger options come through. I'm not sure if you answered this. What would you think the Sox 5-man rotation would look like after all the trades and signings are completed opening day 2024? I'm going to go with my hopeful 2024 rotation. That is Yamamoto, Burns, Bayo, Sale, Crawford. All right, Clip. Sounds good. Doogie's gone this year, in my opinion. That leaves his spot in left. Who takes his spot in left? It's a good question. I don't know yet. Wilyer Abreu would be my question. Would be my answer. Kenley come back here. What's he coming back from? He was pretty good last year. Bullpen game nonsense just happened because we had so many injuries. That's why there were bullpen games. They didn't do bullpen games because they thought it was the right thing to do. They did bullpen games because they didn't have arms. So hoping for a healthy rotation is what you should be hoping for. Platooning is always going to be a thing. Platooning was a thing before people had iPads, right? Everyone blames the iPads for platooning. It's become more of a thing, but yeah, no. Who gets an extension on the Sox? Hope, Casas, and Jensen. Casas, I think, has to be extended before he becomes a real star. Why do you hate Rob Refsnyder? What? Who's the most likely guy we can get? Snell, Nola, or Montgomery? I would say Montgomery out of those three. And I think Montgomery makes the most sense out of those three, especially if you're going for other people. Cora will get an extension. I think it'll be later. What is platooning? When a guy's better against... like Rob Refsnyder is a perfect example, right? He was one of the best left-handed pitching hitters in all of baseball last year. So they only played him against left-handed hitters. Whereas Alex Verdugo struggled against left-handed pitchers this year. So, Mr. T, thank you for subscribing to the channel. So they played Refsnyder instead of Alex Verdugo. Did I like Luis Urias over Arroyo? Waste of a roster space in the end, Mr. T. Let's do this then. Let's have a conversation about Rob Refsnyder, because here's what really you need to look at when you're looking at Rob Refsnyder, right? There are a lot of people on here who watched every single game. And, if you're going to watch every single game, you're going to have opinions on certain players, right? He had an 87 OPS plus, but here's where Rob Refsnyder becomes valuable. And if we're talking about the end of the season, it's not really fair to say, oh, he gave up. Everyone gave up, right? Everyone gave up. Every single person on that team gave up in September. It wasn't just everyone's stats fell in September. Every single one. My computer's been so slow lately. It's insane. All right. So against left-handed pitchers, he was 28% better than the average hitter in Major League Baseball, which is towards the top, right? He had an 828 OPS plus against left-handed pitching, which is where you use him, right? The problem came when he faced right-handed pitchers, where he was just flat out terrible, right? Wasn't very good, 68% worse than the average hitter in Major League Baseball. And then if you're talking about pinch hitting, yeah, he wasn't a great pinch hitter. But see how he did with the bases occupied. With runners in scoring position, he was league average, 99. Clutch stats, he was all right. A little bit below average. Tie game, he was good. Within 1 run, he was good. Within 2 runs, 3 runs, he was good. High leverage situations, a little bit below average. Pretty average in medium situations. Right, so his goal is not to be this sort of, and he was also really good at hitting ground balls into holes. Right, so there's a reason there's a platoon right now, right? And it's this right here. It's this right here. It's that he was so good against left-handed hitters that you can plug him in against, or left-handed pitchers. You can plug him in against left-handed pitchers, and he's going to give you 30% above league average production. You know, he's not going to hit a ton of home runs. He's not going to drive in a ton of runs, but he's going to get on base almost half the time he's up at the plate. You know what I mean? So, there's use for Rob Refsnyder, for sure. The Red Sox need 2 right-hand positional after losing Duvall Turner. I think that you are downplaying this need. Eric, I already said, dude, just because it's not an outfielder doesn't mean I'm downplaying it. What I'm saying is you have a logjam in the outfield right now, right? You've got Massa, you've got Duran, you've got Rafaela, you've got Wilyer Abreu, you've got Rob Refsnyder, you've got Alex Verdugo, and you've got Roman Anthony, who's firing up these minor leagues, right? You don't need to bring that power in from the outfield. You could bring, what I'm saying, Eric, is that yes, I've made multiple videos now actually talking about the fact that the Red Sox do need right-handed power. They need right-handed stability in this lineup. And in fact, I've said in multiple times that we can't just look at starting pitching and improve starting pitching and say, look, we spent a ton of money on starting pitching. We're going to be a lot better, because that's not how it works, right? You need a well-rounded team. You need that right-handed bat. It just doesn't have to be in the outfield, right? It's going to more than likely, in fact, come from either both second base and DH. That's more likely where you're going to get that right-handed power, that right-handed stability within the lineup, because again, you've got that logjam in the outfield. You're not replacing Rafael Devers. You're going to get more production from Trevor Story, so there's another right-handed bat that you can add into this equation. You're not replacing Tristan Casas. You're not replacing Connor Wong or Reese McGuire until Kyle Teal gets here. Right, that sort of leaves you with 2 positions that you can easily slot someone in, like a Whit Merrifield, like a Jonathan India, like a Matt McClain, like like a Jorge Soler, like a JD Martinez, like a Duvall, like a Justin Turner, and bring them back here and really make an impact without having to create a bigger problem for yourself. So it's not that I don't think that it's not a need. It's not that I don't think the Red Sox can do well without a right-handed power bat. It's that I think that the position you're looking at is too much of a logjam for you to really try and be like, okay, let's go out and get a right-handed power bat for center field, right? So we're on the same page, Eric. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by downplaying. That's awesome, Prodigy. Wouldn't mind Merrifield and Story up the middle. Would be a good duo, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it could be decent. Trade Verdugo. Yeah. Okay. Trade Verdugo, sign Duvall. That's another option too, right? If you're looking at the logjam in the outfield and you really do want that right-handed outfielder, then you got to trade multiple pieces from the outfield to make it work. And they can do that. They can for sure do that. I'm just saying it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to move someone into second base or the DH slot than it is to move someone into the outfield. Rhys Hoskins is the first perfect 1 year gap between Blaze Jordan. Blaze Jordan coming out of nowhere. I don't know if Blaze Jordan's going to come up and just take over that DH spot. But Rhys Hoskins could be good. Again, he could play a little left field if you need him to, which could be an option for sure, especially if you want to, part-time DH Massa and have the two of them go and sort of flip-flop, but he's not a great defensive left fielder. And I don't know if he gets only 1 year. 3-year deal? What are the chances the Red Sox of signing Yamamoto? I'm not going to give a number to it, but they're going to be heavily involved. Could you see Meyer getting traded? I don't think they want to trade Marcelo Meyer, and I think it's going to be hard-pressed for them to trade Marcelo Meyer, but I think if they really want to make a big splash and they really want to, and Meyer's standing in the way, I don't think they're going to back away from it. Do I think Rafaela will win a major league job this spring? He could be a right-handed bat. I honestly think Rafaela starts in the minors. I don't think he starts at the major league level. I more so think Wilyer Abreu will start at the major league level. I think he's got more. He's got more potential to be an immediate big league impact. So I don't think he starts at the major league level, no. But I think, he could earn a spot for sure. And if he does, that'd be perfect, right? What's something you do if we sign Ohtani? If we sign Shohei Ohtani, I will. If we sign Shohei Ohtani, I will change my last name to Ohtani. If there's a strong focus on defense, why am I hearing interest for Torres? Very limited defensively, for sure. And that's sort of the biggest problem, right? That's sort of the biggest problem with Torres. But, right, you need that left hand, or you need that right-handed power bat like we've been talking about. You need that right-handed stability in this lineup. Is that a trade-off you're willing to make, right? If you improved, if Casas looked much better defensively at first base at the end of the year, he'll be better defensively next year. You've got Trevor Story for a full year at shortstop. He'll be a much better defensive shortstop. Duran will give you solid defense in center field, depending on who you have in right field. Wilyer Abreu is a good defender. Ceddanne Rafael is a Gold Glove defender. Is it worth taking the chance that those things happen to get that bat in here? And on top of that, too, you've got Pablo Reyes on the bench, right? So if need be, and you're in late innings, you could always sub him out and take the chance that he did not need it at the plate to get that defense there. So I think it's a bit of a trade-off. I'm going in deep. I'm going in deep tomorrow in a video about a trade straight up for Verdugo and Torres, why it makes sense, why it doesn't make sense. And I think you guys are really going to like that. I don't see anyone out there on the block that demands a Meyer trade. Agreed. There's not anyone out there right now that I would give up Meyer for. But at the same time, too, a lot of trades that end up happening are trades that you don't really see coming. So there could be someone that is made available at some point that is worth giving up Marcelo Meyer for. And the list is extremely, extremely small, right? It's like Juan Soto. Is that kind of it? Juan Soto? What rookies do you see being added to the 2024 roster from Worcester? Well, they've got until Tuesday to add players before the Rule 5 draft, so we'll probably see Wilkerman Gonzalez, Shane Drohan, and one more added. To round out their 40-man. But I don't know if they make... I don't know if they make the team out of spring training. Catcher situation. I'm fine with the catcher situation, to be honest with you. I know some people aren't super pumped about it. But when you look at it, right, Wong's league average, he's a really fine backup catcher. Reese McGuire is slightly below league average. He is a suitable backup catcher, and you've got one of the best catching prospects in baseball making his way up, and he's going to be here soon, right? I don't think they need to do anything drastic to their catcher situation because in 2025, you're probably looking at Kyle Teel starting every day for you with Connor Wong being a backup, and that's a really good catching tandem. So, do you see Edward Cabrera as a possibility for the starting rotation? Maybe. I'm joining late. Who do you think they'll get to play second base? I have no idea, Peter. I have no clue. There are a bunch of options, right? You got Merrifield, who we've talked about a little bit. Gleyber Torres, who we talked about a little bit. Jonathan India, who we've talked about a little bit. Tim Anderson, who we haven't really talked about, but could be interesting a little bit. There's a lot. Soto wouldn't demand Meyer unless a pretty huge bidding war came out. There will be a bidding war if he's made available, one. And two, I agree. I agree with that. I'm just saying players that would be made available where I'd be willing to go that far. 1-for-1, Luka? All right, let's do it. Yeah, I did see that, Edgar. Maybe Tom Murphy. Tom Murphy. Is that an old catcher for the Red Sox? I'm sorry to hear that, Mike. I hope she gets better. Do the Red Sox trade Verdugo for a platoon second baseman with Pablo similar to Whit Merrifield? If they want to go the platoon route, I think they would just stick with Pablo and Emmanuel Valdez because it wouldn't cost you anything. But, if Verdugo gets moved, I could see him getting moved for a second baseman because I think that would make sense. I think that would make sense to trade Verdugo for a position player because pitching, especially top-end pitching prospects, or not even prospects, trades like being made available, right? The teams aren't going to want to take on a guy who has 1 year left to control, who's going to be making more than $10 million a year, who's going to, probably leave after test free agency. What they're going to want is either controllable arms who are major league ready or controllable prospects who are close, right? So you're probably not going to be able to trade Alex Verdugo for a top line starting pitcher, even if you throw him into a trade. Even if you package Verdugo with a York or Rafaela, right? You're probably not going to get that big frontline guy. So it would make sense if you are going to trade Verdugo to find something where you can almost 1-for-1 him. Maybe you throw in a John Schreiber or a Sean Murphy or not Sean Brandon Walter and Sean Murphy. Yeah, Murphy, right? I think that's sort of where you're looking. Waka, I'm okay on Waka. I saw a pretty wild Soto trade. I think it was from Robbie Hyde. Drohan and York for Soto. That would be nuts. If that was a trade, all day, right? Yeah, Brendan Drury's the guy we're going to be making a video on. I think Brendan Drury's a prime candidate for the Red Sox to go after this offseason. He makes a ton of sense. A ton of sense. Is it just me or I'm on this show repeating the same player cards all year? Yes. Chris Murphy, thank you. His dad stops by every once in a while. And I can't believe I forgot it. Verdugo and Meyer for Mike Trout? Please, God, no. Do you think Joe Kelly will be back? Dodgers declined his option today. I was talking about it. There's not really a need to bring him back aside from just the vibes, right? That's sort of it, right? Because you've got, realistically, if the Red Sox do their job, you've got Houck, Whitlock, Pivetta, Cutter, Martin, Kenley, Schreiber. I'm missing a few here. Winkowski, right? And those are all candidates to be really solid right-handed bullpen options. So Romero's uncle watches. Chris Murphy's dad used to watch. I don't know if he does anymore. Not getting your hopes up. This offseason a little bit different. I wouldn't start assuming they're going to be spending, $400 million this offseason, but I get a little excited. Why does it seem the Red Sox the last team to bring up youth? I don't think that's true. You want to know the real reason? It's because our pipeline broke under Dave Dombrowski. And the players we gave up under Dave Dombrowski didn't really end up being anything crazy. None of them, some of them are really talented players but couldn't stay healthy. Some of them are guys who never really panned out to their full potential. But what happened was during the Dave Dombrowski era, one, he made a lot of trades with a lot of our top prospects. Two, he didn't really do a great job drafting. Now, there were some players who did work out and who are currently with this team right now, but that was a success rate of about 2 or 3% during his drafts. And so what happened was you saw a sort of crack in the pipeline where the players coming up were either replacement level players or there were none. Right? And we saw that in 22 with the first base situation. There was no one else in the minor leagues who was even remotely ready to be a first baseman. You end up with Bobby Dahlbeck, Travis Shaw, that was a terrible combination, right? You saw that with a couple of different spots in the outfield for a little bit as well. So there was just sort of a break. There was just sort of a break in the pipeline, and that's why you're seeing a lot more youth now than what you saw over the last few years. I'm not saying anything about whether or not Dombrowski was a good GM. He was. I'm not denying it. I'm not sitting here telling you Dombrowski was a bad GM. I'm explaining to stop Putin why the Red Sox didn't have a ton of youth coming up when other teams did. Yeah, he definitely does, Aaron. He definitely does. Could you see us trading for Bryson Stott? No. Bryson Stott would be incredible, but they're not getting Bryson Stott. Castellanos could be a right-handed power bat. Yeah, Castellanos could be someone who the Red Sox look at for sure. I would be excited to get Castellanos here. That's a guy who you can platoon with. Yeah, I think that's a good. I think it's a good trade. I heard a trade one. I think I won for one trade for Verdugo for Castellanos. Yeah, that's not going to happen. It's going to need to be more. Which MLB teams do I see rebuilding this year? I think the Brewers go into a bit of a rebuild. The White Sox start their rebuild. I think those are the two big ones. Guys, again, guys, I'm not arguing that Dave Dombrowski was not a good GM. I'm not trying to say that. Everyone's, oh, wait, Dave. No. All I'm saying is that Dave Dombrowski cut off the pipeline. That's objectively what he did. Objectively, that's what he did. I was explaining to Stop Putin why there was a delay in a lot of the youth coming up through the minor league system. That's it. Yes, and again, I understand the reasoning. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with anything you guys are saying. Right? I'm just a factual statement that Dave Dombrowski cut off the pipeline. It's not an argument. I wasn't making an argument. It was just a factual statement. When will the Rockies start to rebuild and be competitive again? I don't think not for a little bit. Oh, yes. Of course there was a price, Hermit. And again, I would trade it every day of the week, right? A ring for a broken pipeline, I'm taking it, right? Every day. But I also think this is sort of where you end up if you break off the pipeline as much as he did. And again, these guys didn't pan out to be an all-star superstar players. None of them really did, right? I think Manuel Margot was sort of the biggest one to be an everyday player. But that's just sort of the price you pay. And, it's just something you got to deal with because, you lose that pipeline and you lose that sort of influx of players that not only the superstar players, because, there weren't even any superstars in there anyway. But you also, it's more importantly, you lose that depth, right? You lose the depth, you lose the replacement level players that you just didn't have. Certainly still feeling it, yes. Why did Marcelo Meyer get dropped down to top 11 in prospect in baseball? He was hurt and didn't play super well. So it was about an hour ago. About an hour ago, the Red Sox look like a possible contender to sign Eduardo Rodriguez, according to Jon Heyman. Interesting. Thanks for tagging me, Hector. I'm not sure if you're in here or not. I mean, that could be interesting, right? That could be interesting. Oh man, we might lose Mike Monaco. That would suck. That would suck a lot. What's up, Echo? Yeah, it would depend on the deal. Heyman reports that Rodriguez could double the $49 million he opted out of. So you're looking at a $100 million contract for Eduardo Rodriguez. I mean, he had a good year. He had a good year this year. He was pretty solid from what I remember. I was never going to be able to spell that name right. Yeah, he looked pretty good. 3.30 ERA, over 26 games, 1.34 ERA plus, 3.36 FIP, 1.153 WHIP, 8.4 K per nine, 2.8. I mean, he looked pretty good, right? He wasn't giving up a ton of home runs, wasn't really giving up a ton of hits. Actually, the lowest amount of hits per nine in his entire career. Pretty interesting. This is the best season of his career. And so he's opting out to get there. The problem is, right, he doesn't make a ton of starts. He didn't make a ton of starts for the Red Sox. He had 1 year where he pitched 34 games. And then 21, he pitched in 32 games. Right, 17, 26, 152 innings. I don't know. If this is your number 3, then fine, right? But $100 million for your third person, I'd rather Montgomery. I mean, if he comes in to be number 2, I don't love that. What's up, JB? Brendan Donovan, I think he's a little older. I don't know if I'd want that. You've forgotten about the super prospect Yohan Moncada, trade by Dave Dombrowski. I mean, Moncada was a decent player. He just never ended up being Brendan Donovan. Oh, I was thinking of Brandon Crawford. Brandon Donovan, yeah, from the Cardinals, I'd be interested for sure. What's up, Dennis? Moncada never amounted. He couldn't stay healthy, but he was a pretty decent. I mean, he was an all-star, I think. I think Moncada made an all-star team. He just couldn't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy. That's his problem. When he's healthy, he's a good player. Yeah. 140 OPS plus this year, or this in 2019. 116 in 2021. I mean, he's had some good seasons. He's been a solid player. Overall, above average third baseman, switch hitter, decent player. You just couldn't stay healthy. 92, 104, 144, 52. Oh, that was 2020. 130, 149, 54, right? You just can't stay healthy. But he's a good player. $3 from Tim. Tim QC, thank you so much for your donation. I truly appreciate you. Thank you. Can we get some claps to the chat for Tim? Thank you so much for your donation. I really appreciate it. Any truth to the Glaber for Verdugo rumor? I don't know about truth. I think I think it makes sense for both sides, and either side has talked about wanting the other. Whether it comes to fruition or not, I would say the odds are very low. And I'm getting tomorrow's video. I'm getting into that more in depth as to why it would probably be no. But, I mean, I'm sure they'll talk about it. Whatever happened to Rusney Castillo, I think he just faded off. All right, Mark. Thanks for the conversation, my friend. Hermit Rob, thank you for subscribing to the channel. If up to you, would I accept? I think I would. Yeah. If you go 1 for 1, I think I would. He would be. He would be, JB. Yeah. Who is on your top 5 favorite prospect lists? It is Marcelo Meyer, who I think has somehow become underrated, which is crazy. Kyle Teal, Roman Anthony, Nazan, and Wilkeman Gonzalez. Don't know what happened? It's all right, Hermit. Don't worry about it. Bogey or Nomar? I didn't see Bogey. I have such an emotional attachment to. It's hard for me to not say him. So, believe Chris Sale will be highly motivated in 2024. I agree. I think he will be, and I also think that he's not going to have as much pressure on him, which could make him help perform better. Right? He's not going to be expected to be the best pitcher on the club. So I think he'll perform better. I think that'll help a lot. Too much potential in Glaber's bat? Yeah. Potential 2024 rotation. Montgomery, Nola, Rodriguez, Bayo, Houck, Sale. I don't love it. Let me take a look. Mike, I also need an answer to the question I had asked earlier. Adam, thank you so much for becoming a member of the Bleachers, my friend. You can use all of the... that does kind of look like the night sky, Mike. You can use all of the emotes. Enjoy the emotes, my friends. And you get access to the members-only live stream, which we need to figure out. We will figure out members as soon as... Yeah, I know, Mike. I need to know where you want it for. So we will figure that out, Adam. But thank you so much. Can we get some claps in the chat for Adam to becoming a member of Red Seat Radio? I appreciate you. Thank you. Who makes a team among your favorite top 5 rookies you just mentioned? Kyle Teal, I think, makes a team in September. Kyle Teal makes a team in September, I would say. But I don't think we see any other. I don't think we see any other of those guys in the major. Maybe Wilkeman Gonzalez at some point. I appreciate you hanging around, Robbie. Thanks for everything you do. Houck may move. Yeah, maybe. Any chance Paxton's back? I would say none. I would say 0. Yeah, Pax is not coming back. If Tatis, also Hector, I appreciate you tagging me in that stuff on YouTube, man. Thank you. Or on Twitter. Oh, I loved it, Shooter. I loved it. Let me think here. Any chance? No. What was the Tatis stuff? Oh, Tatis question mark. If Tatis is available, that's the guy you trade Marcelo Meyer for. Yes. Yes. But is that going to be an option? Most likely not. How about Soto? Doesn't look like Soto's going to be on the market. If he is, I'm all in. I want Soto. But if he is available, I'm all in again. But again, I don't think he's going to become available. Yeah, I'm sure Twitter's loving that. I'm going to wait till there's a more legitimate report about Trevor Bauer, as much as I like Griffin. We need right-handed power? Yeah. Yeah, the Patrick Bailey, I think that's probably what's going to happen, Adam. It makes sense. He pitched with Craig Breslow. I think he only has 1 year left on his contract with San Francisco, and he could be really good. Which former Red Sox do you think that may return that they lost in 2022? Like this year, none of them. In the future, maybe Xander comes back 1 more year to retire a Red Sox. I don't think anything outside of that. When do we see the first signing? We'll see one signing. We will see one signing before Thanksgiving. All the big ones are going to come after winter meetings or during winter meetings, somewhere around there. Would you rather have Soto, Tatis, or Bogey? Tatis. Joe Kelly coming back doesn't make a ton of sense. Do they go above the luxury tax? Yes, they go above the luxury tax this season. One of the reasons I think they also go above the luxury tax, and Eric, I don't remember if you brought it up or someone else brought it up, but they have Sale's contract coming off the books next year. They have Martin's contract. They have Kenley's contract. They have a lot of room opening up next year, which is why I think they could push pretty heavily over the tax this year. What are my top 3 right-handed bats that Boston can get, in your opinion? Via free agency, it's Adam Duvall. It's probably Justin Turner, and then it's Whit Merrifield, and then maybe a little bit below there is Merrifield is Tim Anderson. I think most of the big moves will be done by winter weekend. I know Sonny Gray is a big market stigma, but he's worth the risk. Yes, agreed. Oh yeah, Rhys Hoskins. My fault. Duvall, Rhys Hoskins, Whit Merrifield. I think, and not in that order, but I think those are guys that could be interesting. Yeah, Teoscar is the best right-handed bat. Teoscar could be interesting, right? Because again, if your plan is to play Massa more at DH to help with his fatigue, get him used to, get him fully acclimated and stuff. Teoscar could play left field. He's not going to be insane or anything. He's probably going to be fairly bad, but he's going to be able to play. How much is the luxury tax that I hear about? I think the first threshold's $220 million, $240 million, somewhere in there. Between 220 and 240. You'd rather have Ahmed Rosario over Tatis? That's insane. I'm sorry, Mike. That is crazy. And I want Tatis for right field. Let's see what you got. This would be nuts if this was pulled off. Roman Anthony, Jarren Duran, Josh Winkowski to the Padres in return for Xander, Fernando Tatis, and Jake Cronenworth plus $37 million. If that's possible, I'd be very interested. I don't think it's possible. Again, the PR for San Diego to give up Tatis as their biggest contract and Xander Bogaerts as their newly signed big contract, it would be insane. I don't think they trade either of those guys, but it'd be crazy. Tatis said he played right field all season, Mike. He played right field all season and was really good at it. Take a flyer on Zach Greinke? I would be shocked if they took a flyer on Zach Greinke. What does he bring that we don't already have? Right-handed power. Gurriel, yeah, Gurriel. There are actually pretty decent amount of right-hand bats that could be interesting. Gurriel, yes, I'm all in on Gurriel. I would love Gurriel here. I think he'd be a perfect stabilizer for the offense from the right-hand side. Happy to help, Steven. $237 million? Okay, so I was in the ballpark. Where does Dahlbeck end up? I think he ends up with Kansas City. Luis Robert, Cease, I'd love either one of those. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love either one of those. You think you're about to blow it up and rebuild? I don't think so. I think they've dug themselves too deep to blow it up and rebuild. I think they really kind of screwed themselves in. They backed themselves into a corner. And I think it's gonna be hard to get out of there. Do you think? Yeah, for sure, Steven. I think he was for sure, right? It's like, it's like when your friends go to college, right? When you're in high school and you spent, your entire young lives with, your core group of friends, and then they all leave and they go to, UC San Diego, and you go to Suffolk, right? You're never going to see them, and you could communicate via Instagram and, all these things. Oh, God. I'm not getting to Trevor Bauer again. It's a different feeling, right? It's something you got to get used to, and they'll both get used to it. But, yeah, I'm sure it affected them for sure. Would you trade for Castellanos so they ate some salary? Yes. Yeah. He had a good season, right? Castellanos had a decent season. That's all right, Tyler. That's all right. It's not your fault. I can't do it again. My voice will go. Yeah, Nick Castellanos was solid this year. How many home runs did he hit? 29 homers, 106 RBIs, 112 OPS plus. He was an all-star. He had 37 doubles, 170 hits. He's pretty solid. 311 on base percentage. That's the type of. Oh, sorry, I forgot to share it. This is the type of guy I wouldn't be mad at this at all. Especially if you get the, right now what's he getting paid, like $20 million a year? If you get that down to like $15 million, I don't know what his actual contract is. Let me see. So yeah, he's getting paid $20 million. Say they take $5 million, they take $20 million off that. That could be a really good pickup for the Red Sox. That'd be kind of exactly what you're looking for. And he's a decent. I wouldn't put him in right field at Fenway. God no, I'd put him in left field. Right? Have him platoon with Massa. I mean, I'd be perfectly okay with that. I don't know about you guys, but I'd be perfectly okay with that. Oops, I just opened up Photoshop. Yeah. Bauer rant was brilliant. Appreciate it. Thanks, Isaiah. Where do I give to Movember? Dennis, if anyone else is looking for Movember donations, it is right here. It is in support of bringing services for both men's mental and physical health, both in the United States and outside of the United States. It is Mental health to me is very near and dear to my heart. So that's why I'm growing the mustache. And I look ridiculous right now. That's why we got the target down there. For everyone who donates, you're going to be entered in to win some Red Seat Radio merch. And then once we get to $250, I'm going to donate the rest. So we really only got $130 left to go. So if you guys are interested, you want to, as a community, do something good for, men's mental health everywhere. I think it's a noble cause. So, I'm probably not doing a good job of selling it, but am I getting flashbacks from college? I am a little bit. What's the hold up on extending Tristan? I think they're going to go for immediate needs first and then work on Tristan Casas. If I was a GM, I would have signed him first. But that's because I love Tristan Casas. We could see. I would guess we start hearing Casas extension rumors as we get close to spring training. When you say platoon, you mean like switch between DH and left? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Am I going to winter weekend this year? Absolutely. Do you guys want another vlog? I feel like people kind of liked it. Some people didn't. Would you guys like another vlog? I had a lot of fun making it. Need to get that done ASAP. Agreed. Yeah, you guys want a winter weekend vlog? Okay. Yeah, I really liked making it. We had a ton of fun. Me and my girlfriend went. It was it's a blast. If you haven't been to Winter Weekend yet, it is a ton of fun. If you love autographs, it's a great place to get autographs. I just like walking around and being with Red Sox fans and listening to the panels and stuff. Really gets you excited. I like going there and just listening. But if you like autographs and that kind of stuff, it's a really fun weekend. When is Winter Weekend? They change it every year. It'll probably come out in December. Towards the beginning of December, and then I'm gonna grab tickets and stuff. But yeah, it was a blast. If you haven't been yet, it is a ton of fun. Yeah. Will Henry get booed? It depends on what the team looks like. If he goes and spends, I think if he goes and spends an absorbent amount of money, I think so. You might go this year. Yeah, it's a great time. You should. So I think they move on from AC. It depends on why they ended up in the basement, Christian. If they end up in the basement after signing, a bunch of guys and the team on paper looks like it should do really well, yes. If they stay under the luxury tax, they continue to do what they've been doing, no, I don't think so. Looking forward to spring training. I might try and get down to spring training this year. I might try to. I love spring training. I love going down to spring training. I think it's a ton of fun. I haven't really gotten the opportunity. Do I sell Red Sea Radio wall flags? No. I would love to get some Red Sea Radio wall flags, but I don't think the shop I'm using has them. I don't think so. Get them going. I don't know how many people would do a Red Sea Radio wall flag. Need one of those? You could buy a hoodie and hang it up. I'll look into it, Tyler. I'll look into it for you. Therio Estrada, I'd be interested. Yeah, he had a good season. For second base, too, he could be a good defensive second baseman for sure. Can't see the Sox signing anyone with a qualifying offer, so I can easily see a cease. I don't think they're going to back away from anyone with a qualifying offer, but I think they're going to be really careful. If they can avoid the qualifying offer players, I think they will. But if it means bringing in a Nola, I don't know. I think Yamamoto will be a big point for them, as it should be. I think Montgomery will be a big point for them because of the no qualifying offers, but I also think they're not going to back away from Nola. I don't know if they're going to be in on Blake Snell. Less than 10%, yes, Michael. Yes. Yeah, Springfield, Massachusetts. Baltimore won't spend. Yeah, but Baltimore still got those young studs coming up, man. They still have those young studs. I genuinely don't know. How much money do the Sox have to work with this offseason? All right, so if we do the math here. So the bare minimum they have sport. I like to go. This place lines it up really well. Team payrolls, tax payrolls. Okay, so this is 2024 right now. This is estimated, right? This is what they have right now. These are their estimates right here. I usually has an estimation somewhere. Yeah, projected team payroll. So, okay, so right here, it's probably 183 million-ish dollars is what the Red Sox will more than likely have after arbitration and stuff like that's taken care of. And then we already saw the tax was $237 million. So until you reach the first threshold, you got $55 million to play around with, right? That's a pretty decent amount. So bare minimum $57 million going into 2023 or 2024. I think they blow past that a little bit, whether that's with a combination of extensions and free agent signings plus trade extensions, stuff like that. Yeah, right now with no one signed, they're ninth in baseball with just pre-existing stuff. That's before arbitration. That's before all of that stuff, right? The pre-arb people, all that. They're ninth in baseball. I think they're going to doop somewhere in the 4. Because I don't think they'll have a higher payroll than the Mets. I don't think they'll have a higher payroll than the Phillies. And I don't think they'll end up with a higher payroll than the Yankees. So I think they'll be somewhere in this 4 to 5 range, which is pretty decent. They don't need to be the number one spender in baseball to be successful. So I would say bare minimum $70 million to work with before it gets uncomfortable. 70 million seems like a good number. I appreciate that so much, Dennis. Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah, if they don't get, people are saying it's Yamamoto or bust, and I've been trying to tell people. The Red Sox could still be a successful team in 2024 without Yamamoto. Because I think what's going to happen is if the Red Sox don't get Yamamoto, people are bringing out the pitchforks, right? But I think, this could be still a really successful offseason if they get a Montgomery and they trade for a Burns. Or a Montgomery and they trade for a Jesus Luzardo or something like that, right? Where you get that top line pitcher, you get that number 2, and then you have those younger kids develop within the rotation. And then on top of that, you add in a, you add in a good righty bat, and then you take care of that. You get some other stuff here, but yeah. Yeah, it's I'm trying to, I'm trying my best because I think you're right. There is going to be a whole lot of people upset if they don't get Yamamoto. And they should be upset for sure. But I think they could still be successful without it. All right, 150. Look at that, chat. We're going up. We're going up. It's still loading. It'll come down. When it's done loading. What the heck just happened? I swear we're at 150. I'm not lying. There you go. 150, chat. We are almost halfway to our goal of $500. It would be incredible if we got to $500. For what? Yeah, I know, Shooter. It's very funny seeing some of these payrolls. Ah, man. It was at 150. We'll get it back. Hold on. There we go. It's all right, Bob Munch. Hey, I appreciate you. I really appreciate you donating, by the way. It means a lot to me. I wanted to say that. Thank you. Senga was really solid, yeah. A Japanese pitcher. We haven't really seen a legit big Japanese pitcher come over in a little bit. And I think between that time, the competition in Japan has gotten to almost the level of Major League Baseball. Like, I think like Senga being a prime example here. They, guys are coming over and really, stepping in pretty well. Like, Imasa's a good example, right? Seiya Suzuki's a good example. Ohtani's obviously the best example. They've all sort of made that transition. They've had their bumps, of course, right? We saw it with Masa this year. But I just think, being able to come in here and being able to be an impact player almost immediately is starting to become more of a reality, which is why Yamamoto is being so sought after, because he can be an impact player immediately because of everything that has happened over the last. And I think Senga's a great example of that. Dennis, thank you so much for being here, my friend. I appreciate you. 7 months, Dennis has been a member of this channel. Really, really impressive stuff, Dennis. Thank you. Hitters are still developing. Yeah, I think it's a little bit tougher for hitters. I mean, it's tough for both sides, but I think it's tougher for hitters to be in the everyday lineup for 162 as opposed to 140. I think those extra 22 games or whatever it is, and then you have playoffs and you got spring training on top of that too. So you're really playing baseball for an extra 3 months than you're used to in Japan in a game setting. I think that's why it takes, you're seeing more of a transition for hitters than you are for pitchers. But I think they're both pretty close. We're going to see a lot of Japanese talent in Major League Baseball over the next couple of years. We're going to see a lot. Murakami is coming in next year. My mustache should get its own show. Hopefully my mustache isn't here for much longer. Wait a year for Glasnow. Yeah, someone put out that Glasnow could be a trade candidate for the Red Sox. I don't see it that much. I don't know if the Red Sox would be willing to give up, prospects when it doesn't look like Tampa's looking to extend Tyler Glasnow, and he's had that injury history, right? To me, it looks like it's going to be, it just doesn't make sense. Agree with that, Jackson. You should add $10. Just got donated again. Mike, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. All right, Dennis, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. Thank you. We are now at $160 donated, chat, in 3 days. I'm so proud of this community for being, for doing this. This was the first sort of charity thing we've done on this channel, and for you guys to have been able to raise $160 in 2-3 days it really makes me happy. So thank you. Yeah, I saw Carlos Fable sign with Toronto. That'll be interesting to see him at third base. That'll be really interesting to see him at third base. It'll be weird seeing him at third base though. In a Blue Jays uniform. I still think that was the right move, but it'll be weird seeing him in a Blue Jays uniform. During your money slinging days. Well, I appreciate what you've been able to give now, Mike. It means a lot. Jordan. Blaze Jordan, Ralph? Jordan Montgomery, is that who you're talking about? Cease, Eloy, Jordan Montgomery, Duvall, Witt, minus Verdugo. That could be pretty successful. Thanks, Mike. That could be pretty successful. Yeah, I did see that, Michael. I think we're going to start to see a little bit more of that. We're going to start to see a little bit more of Japan interweaving with college and the minor leagues. Thank you, Steven. I appreciate that. Yeah, I hope we do too. I mean, we got a month, right? We got a month. And once we get to 250, I want to be donating the other 250. I would love to get to, realistically, I would really love to get to 750. So you guys do the 500, and then I'll donate 250 of my own. I would love to do that because this, I mean, I think this, if we can get to 500 though, I think it'll be a really successful first community sort of, what am I trying to say? Community. I'm lost. I don't know why I just fully lost my train of thought there, but effort maybe. What am I hearing about possible Verdugo for Gleyber Torres trade? I don't think it's going to happen. It might be talked about. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think either team are going to be willing to lose that trade, and I don't think Alex Verdugo on his own gets that trade done. Fundraiser, community fundraiser, yeah, that sounds right. Community fundraiser. Love seeing that Sox tap into Korea. I would love to see the Red Sox start getting more Korea too. There are a lot of really great international players right now, and that's going to lead to a lot of really creative solutions for teams as well. Because now you got a bigger pool to choose from, right? Clean shave Verdugo in a Yankees uniform, it would be traumatizing, I think, a little bit. What is Movember, if I may ask? Well, Movember is an organization that helps bring... What up, Rockman? Coming in for the last couple minutes. I appreciate you. Movember is an organization that is campaigning and using funds to bring mental health and health services to men both nationally and worldwide. And with November being being the National Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I thought it'd be a cool idea to see if we could get something going here on this channel because I think it's a very important topic, right? Men's mental health is 4 out of 5 suicides are men, right? And it's important for everybody. Of course, it's important for everybody. But I think it's really cool what Movember is doing. So we're gonna try and help them out during this month of National Men's Mental Health Awareness. Heard the Sox are talking about a 6-man rotation this year. I think it'll depend on what they do. If you get a 100 clip, I want full credit. I think the 6-man rotation will depend on what they can do with starting pitching during the offseason. If they can get guys that are going to make 30-plus starts, it's a possibility, right? But at the same time, too, you're also depleting your bullpen just one person more. And one person over the course of 162 is a lot of appearances out of the bullpen, right? But at the same time, too, again, if you do what you're supposed to do this offseason, you end up with 2 frontline starters, and that pushes Houck and Whitlock into the bullpen. Those are both guys who can go every 2 or 3 days and give you 3 or 4 innings, right? So it makes it a little bit easier to go with a 6-man rotation, which is why I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. I think it just depends on what they're able to do, right? If they're able to execute correctly and get the guys in that they need to get in, yeah, I think it's a possibility. Any rumors? The only rumors that I've seen so far is the Red Sox talking to Jordan Montgomery's agent, and a little bit of smoke with Gleyber Torres and an Alex Verdugo trade. That's about it. And the Red Sox possibly being interested in Whit Merrifield. That is someone that has been rumored to be a target for the Red Sox. I'm trying to think of anything else. That's really nice of you, Steven. That's it takes a lot. It takes a lot to be able to do that. So that's really impressive. The Dodgers starting an academy in Uganda is also insane. I bet we start seeing a lot more interest. Yeah, I could see that for sure. That's a hefty price to pay, Dill. Yeah, Vols, you're right. Yeah. But I mean, sometimes it's not about who the better player is. It's about what the best fit is, right? A lot of times we see in trades, a lot of people are comparing WAR and they're comparing, just baseline statistics. But sometimes it's about the fit, right? Gleyber Torres may be the better player than Alex Verdugo. But the Yankees need high contact, good outfield lefties. The Red Sox need a powerful, reliable right-handed bat, right? And the difference between Alex Verdugo and Gleyber Torres statistically isn't insane. It is different, right? But it isn't insane. So when you're looking at it, there's benefits to either side. There's benefits to either side, and I think it just depends on what the just depends on what the fit looks like. And obviously, statistics matter. I'm not trying to say that. But I'm just saying when one guy is, and I would say Torres as an overall player is slightly better than Alex Verdugo. I think he is better, but he's definitely better offensively. But he's not better defensively. Alex Verdugo is worse offensively, but better defensively. And they're both better at different things, right? Alex Verdugo's harder to strike out. He makes more contact. Gleyber Torres has more power. He hits for more slug, right? So it's a trade-off. That's what a trade is, right? When do we start hearing of teams signing free agents? I'd say after Thanksgiving. Trade Prodigy for the Mets to the Mets for Mr. Met. Prodigy, I'm sorry. AC made it clear he wants Alex Verdugo gone. I don't know if he made it clear. There was an interview he did with Jared Carrabis' podcast, Name Redacted, just today. And he actually talked pretty highly of Alex Verdugo. I don't know if he wants him gone, but I think he's just sort of sick of saying, yes, there's another level, and just never getting there, right? I hope not, Christian. If we get to that point, that means things have not gone well. That would be awesome, Jackson. I can't believe you used my video to make a why Bloom should be fired. That's so funny. Okay, Courtney. Phillies are shopping Nick Castellanos. Do you think we should go after him? If they could take money off his contract, yes, yes, and yes. When is the winter meetings in December? MLB winter meetings. December 4th through the 7th. So the beginning of December. That's when I think we'll see a pretty decent amount of. That's when I see a pretty decent amount goes down. I think it depends on the money solely, Vols. It's looking like he could get upwards of $90 million. If that's the case, I don't know if I go for it. Yeah, he declined. Makes sense. He's probably going to take a year off. I mean, he's getting paid by the Red Sox already. So take a year off, reassess, come back in 2025. That's probably what he's going to do. That's winter meetings, not winter weekend, Prodigy. Unless you want to go to Nashville. Lansford, I would be kind of interested. He just can't stay healthy, and we need guys who can stay healthy. Plus, he's never going to leave LA. I mean, if it got a pretty good grade, Jackson, you must have done a good job. All right, chat. I think that's a good place to cap it. We had an amazing stream today. Thank you for everyone who not only donated to me, which I truly appreciate it, but to the campaign for Movember. That means the world to me that you guys would take money out of your own pocket and help people around the United States get access to mental health that they deserve. I really, really appreciate that more than you know. We will be live again. It's all right, Prodigy. Don't worry about it. We'll be live again in 2 weeks or 14 days from Wednesday. I usually do them Wednesdays for those you don't know. To everyone who subscribed, thank you so much. If you haven't yet subscribed and you're thinking about it, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. And you made it through most of this, so you might as well hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys hit the like button on this one. Thank you again to everyone who donated, became a member. Help this stream be the stream it was. I had a ton of fun today. Ton of fun. I love going on rants with you guys. It's one of my favorite parts of the week. So thank you all so much for clicking on this one. And I will see you in the